Hi there, I'm Andy from Citizens of the Great Barrier Reef. We're actually out on the outer edge of Moore Reef, so about 2 hours sailing from Cairns. It's a bit blustery today, so we're looking forward to getting in the water and getting some of the magic and serenity that we get once we're below the surface. I'm here with Eric from GBR Biology. What we're going to see, Eric?
Basically what Andy is saying, we're going to jump in here, come over to our amazing wall, literally amazing, vast expanses of plate coral, little crevices, come up through them, see if we've got some schools of fish, maybe have a look for a shark or a turtle, and have some fun.
Let's get in there.
Let's go.
Hello, live from Oz. And we wanted to bring you here and share a dive with you. Now I'm wearing this very strange mask which allows me to talk underwater, which to most of my mates is a very bad thing, because normally when we're diving it's the only place I can't talk. The visibility's okay, you can see quite a few meters, but sometimes you can see up to 25 meters out here, and there's plenty of fish. And during the dive we'll try and show you a bit more. We'll try and show you a Nemo, we might bump into our friend Wally, the Maori wrasse, and we'll see what else we can find. Oh, amazing! And here we are in the lagoon, and Eric has managed to find one of our favourite residents, the Maori wrasse. This one, quite famous around here, is called Wally. At the age of about somewhere between 7 years old and 9 years old, Wally changed from a female to a male. And Wally could grow up to about 2 meters in length for full size. And Maori wrasse will eat pretty much anything, from invertebrates to the odd even baby shark. Very friendly, very cool, and as you can see, amazing patterning, totally cool. So pleased we could share this with you. Thanks, Wally. Totally showbiz, that fish, totally showbiz. That's great. Alright, we're going to go and see if we can find Nemo. Come with us. Oh, okay, this is super cool. Now these are Great Barrier Reef clownfish, a relative of the famous Nemo clownfish. And as you can see, they're living in this anemone down here. The bigger one is the female, and definitely the boss. And unlike the Maori wrasse, these ones go from male to female, so the male turns into a female. And absolutely the bigger one is in charge, no doubt about that. Now these other little guys, these little black and white, kind of white, bluey kind of little fellas, they're juvenile humbug fish, type of damsel fish. So they're unusual as well because it's the only other species that really lives in the anemones like the clownfish do. Anyway, as you can see, beautiful colours, incredibly vivid, and a pleasure to watch. And all live on this amazing reef. Okay, so we're going to leave it there. I'm going to pass you over to Michelle up there on the surface. And she's going to do a little bit of fish feeding. We'll see you back in a moment.
Thank you, Andy. Just going to throw out some pilchards to see what comes up. Alright, here we go. We've got a few fish coming up. So the one that's more grey looking here, that one is a brassy trevally. So there's some of the fastest swimming fish that we have on the reef. You can see that it's getting those fish a lot quicker than the other one is. And so they have these big pectoral fins on their side that kind of look like a big hook on either side of their body. They use those to quickly turn a corner. So they have to be very agile to chase all the little fish around, but they do swim mostly using their tail fins. And just like most predators, they have their eyes at the front of their head so they can see the fish even before it hits the water as well. All right, so now the more reddish looking ones that are around here as well, they're called red bass. Now red bass, they're not always this red. They actually, when they're at rest, they have more of a grayish looking color, but they have really thin skin. So when they're swimming around a lot and they get their blood pumping, like when they're chasing fish around, they turn that deep red color, and that's where they get their name from as well. Red bass are one of the longest lived fish on the reef. They can live for about 50 years. So these are some of our major predatory types of fish that we have out here on the reef. There's a couple of smaller fish hanging out here as well, these blue ones with the yellow tails. Those ones are called fusiliers. They mostly feed on plankton, so they might have a quick nibble at a bit of fish here, but it's not really their major food source. Oh, here we go. So this big one that's just come up here is the giant trevally. So it's the bigger relative of the brassy trevally that we just saw a little bit earlier on. So this is even bigger, even faster version. And they're really long-lived fish as well. So the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority has allowed us to feed these fish 1 kilogram of natural fish food per day. And we do that to keep them wild so that when we're not able to visit them every day, that they still can be feeding for themselves. So 1 kilogram between all these big fish is not a lot, it's just a little snack for them. And then they'll do the rest of their feeding in the evening. All right, so that's enough food for them for now. So now let's have a check-in with Andy and Eric and see what they found on their dive.
Thank you, Michelle, for that. So we wanted to show you some of the research projects that are going on out here on the Great Barrier Reef. And actually, very luckily, they're today deploying one of the ocean gliders. Now these ocean gliders go for thousands of kilometers collecting really key data. Looks like a torpedo. They collect key data like temperature, salinity, oxygen levels, and they rove around the ocean for weeks at a time. So this one's about to get deployed to do that job. So with that, we're going to pass over to Nicole up on the pontoon, who's going to tell you something about turtles.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole from Citizens of the Great Barrier Reef. And I'm so excited to be out here today, not just because I've been cooped up inside for almost 2 months, but also because I'm kind of obsessed with sea turtles. And Great Barrier Reef is home to 6 out of the 7 species of sea turtles, so it's a pretty special place. So those 6 species are green turtles, hawksbills, loggerheads, olive ridleys, and flatbacks. Now flatbacks are really cool because they only nest in Australia, which kind of makes them like our signature sea turtle. And also, if you're super lucky, you might be able to see a leatherback. Now leatherbacks are the largest and the rarest turtles that you can see out on the reef. They can dive to depths over 1 kilometer, which is pretty insane. So these turtles, they can travel up and down the Great Barrier Reef, going to different nesting grounds or feeding grounds, and sometimes they just like to stay in the same area. And you can actually track them in real time over on reeftracks.org. So for ReefTracks, we've fitted a couple of green sea turtles that came from the Fitzroy Island Rehabilitation Centre with GPS trackers. And these send cool little pings up into the satellites, and we're able to get that data in real time on ReefTracks. So it's not just awesome for people like me who are obsessed with turtles to go watch, it's also really important scientific data so that scientists can understand more about sea turtle behaviour. So where we are today on Moore Reef, we're most likely to see either green turtles or hawksbills. And people sometimes have a bit of trouble telling the difference between the 2 species. So I'm going to give you 2 tips today so that when you come back from your holiday on the Great Barrier Reef and your friends say, "What kind of turtle did you see?" you're going to know exactly what to say. So I'm going to be using our latest online platform called Oceanpedia. So Oceanpedia is a fantastic tool for you to be able to learn more about the Great Barrier Reef and all the amazing marine animals that live there. So right here we have an awesome 3D model of a green sea turtle. Now if you take a look at her beak here, you'll notice that it's quite smooth. So green turtles, they eat things like jellyfish and seagrasses, so they don't really need a big obvious beak to break into anything. Whereas if you swim with a hawksbill, you'll notice that it has quite a bird-like beak. That's because they eat things like sponges, which are tough, so they need to be able to break into them. So the second thing you're going to notice is the shell. So green sea turtles, they have absolutely stunning teardrop shells that are have quite smooth edges. Another little scientific tip, if you want to sound fancy, is that turtle shells are called carapaces. So if you swim with a hawksbill turtle, you'll notice that its carapace actually has a slightly jagged edge compared to the green turtle. So that's the second way to tell if it's a green or a hawksbill. So we all love swimming with turtles here on the Great Barrier Reef, but we need to make sure that they are protected because unfortunately they suffer from a couple of threats such as climate change, ocean pollution or marine debris. So you at home can make a massive difference for turtles by just doing things like bringing your own reusable bottle or saying no to a plastic straw, and these small changes make a massive difference for all the marine animals out here. We want to make sure that they're happy and thriving so that when you come out here to the Great Barrier Reef, there'll be plenty to see. Alright, so we're going to finish off with Michelle giving us a look at from above of the Great Barrier Reef.
So as you can see, the reef is absolutely amazing. We've just seen one small part of one individual reef today, which is Moore Reef, but the entire World Heritage Great Barrier Reef is made up of over 3,000 reefs. It's roughly the same size as countries like Italy, Japan, and Germany, and it is big, beautiful, and diverse, so we cannot wait for you to come see it again soon.
Yay!